Hey, you random stranger, how you going? It's nice to have you back to finish off Volume 9 of Houseki no Kuni, where all the ingredients are there for a civil war between the gems with Phos on the moon and the gems on Earth, who are now really being led by Yuke. Um, although civil war might not be such an accurate term because it feels more like Phos versus everyone else, except maybe Cairngorm because apparently they don't have a choice in these matters. So, yeah, we're gonna go through a couple of comments and more thoughts that came to me when reading through what you guys pointed out, and also just rereading through the previous chapters. First off, Phos sweats a lot in the first half of Volume 9. They sweat, for example, before they actually leave Earth, when the other gems tell Phos to not blame themselves because they all made a personal choice to leave, which is true, but Phos clearly feels guilty about withholding some extremely pertinent information from them all. Things like how this is actually a plan to break Sensei's machine heart. And Phos really has taken away their right to a fully informed decision. Um, Even though Phos does give the other gems plenty of chances to stay behind, I think that was more out of guilt than anything. Phos also sweats again when Amethyst 84 apologizes for deceiving everyone about being 33, because obviously Phos is sweating there because there's a big fat deception going on that Phos is maintaining that is far worse. I also think Phos is sweating a lot because they're just out of their depth. There were several big things that they had miscalculated, including underestimating how traumatized gems like Yellow and Lex would be upon finding out about the moon and how its sand is actually ground up gems. Phos had this excuse, which I felt was pretty lame that, they didn't tell them earlier because, they didn't think that they would believe them. Really, because that's not Phos's choice to make, and they just admitted to manipulating the other gems. So, yeah, you see Phos sweating at the sight of Yellow and Lex cracking, which is really sad. Even Phos's offer to ask Aechmea to come up with a way to put everyone back together again backfires because the others are like, wait, you haven't even asked him yet? To which Phos gives another excuse that they needed to get Aechmea to trust them first before they could negotiate for anything more, which I kind of get. The deal was for Phos to help Aechmea make Sensei work again in exchange for the Lunarians to just leave them alone. And I guess Phos was worried that if Aechmea also found out that they wanted to also rescue the ones ground into sand, that he would be able to use that against them as a form of blackmail. But at the same time, isn't it obvious that Aechmea would have deduced that already? That they wanted to recover their ground up gems as well. I think it's a card he knows he has up his sleeve, regardless of whether Phos tells him or not. He saw Phos's reaction to his little demonstration with a part of what Phos thought was Antark, and so he knows Phos's attachment to the ground up gems. Also, the other gems with Phos. So after Phos tells them that they have reason to be optimistic that Aechmea will be able to restore everyone, which is also a lie, they all turn around and start thanking him. So I feel too that was a miscalculation by Phos, especially because they're playing a shell game on all sides, and Phos can't keep wraps on what the other gems say in front of Aechmea because Phos hasn't shared their ultimate goal with them. And also, Phos has painted such a rosy picture of what the Lunarians can do and what they're doing to help. To Phos's advantage, they know that Aechmea is desperate also. The whole purpose of displaying the gems on the moon was to provoke Sensei, and if Phos's offer was to make that happen, it would seem reasonable to include restoring the ground-up gems as part of that original deal, because should Phos have succeeded in shocking Sensei back to factory settings, they would have nothing else left up their sleeve to offer. Does that make sense? I'm just having some difficulties in understanding what Phos's play is here, and it really feels like they've not quite got their whole head in the game. Oh yes, on the moon dust thing, thank you Nerdy3177 for pointing out that the idea with that was probably to cover the whole moon and then bring Sensei up to show him all at once, or maybe try to get every gem so that he is alone and then show him. Okay, which makes sense, which makes sense why the Lunarians would still keep at it for so many thousands of years. I think that would probably do it. Like, that would be the thing to break Sensei, if anything did. Yeah, so moving on, Phos is playing against Aechmea, who I feel has the clear upper hand at this point in time. There's that line he says when he asks for Padpa to be left with him, and Yellow is distressed at that. But Phos says, fine, as long as you don't, what was it? As long as there's no smashing. And then Aechmea replies, or reassures them, that it's okay, he won't pulverize this one or any of you. And so there's always this underlying tone of threat to everything he says and does, which is like fair enough, because he's got his own goal he has to achieve and he needs Phos to perform. It was interesting when Phos is in Aechmea's office and after Padpa leaves, and then Aechmea sort of changes outfits from the lab coat and the glasses of a doctor back into the Roman leader toga. Maybe it's like a visual representation of how he's moving from the role of disinterested scientist to leader with an agenda and the power to demand and threaten certain things. Like, when he tells Phos, we still haven't returned to nothing, and I have high hopes that your next move will yield results. It is a clear threat that is, just wrapped in encouragement. There are a few other gems I want to talk about. Cairngorm, I love Cairngorm because they're playing the role of skeptic so well. They question Phos about trusting Aechmea to the extent that they do, and even though Phos agrees with Cairngorm, they also say that not everything that I heard was a lie, and justifies trusting in Aechmea by saying that they did actually confirm with Sensei that he was a tool made by the humans. But the thing I still don't get is that even though Sensei did turn out to be a machine, which means Aechmea wasn't lying about that, it doesn't then follow that what Aechmea told them about having to shock Sensei to restore the prayer function is also true. There was an interesting part where Phos wishes out loud that they had asked Sensei more questions, but then gives yet another excuse, saying that they couldn't because they were scared of him, to which I think it was Goshen, the baby, who immediately says, well, are you sure it's not just because you're feeling guilty? Which was a sick burn, but also kind of true. Like, was that a missed opportunity? Phos's ability to ask Sensei questions about humans and receive actual answers, likely due to their increased humanness, I think could have yielded some very interesting answers and possibly even a better solution. But I feel Phos's guilt and tendency to figure things out on their own, which I think they got from Lapis, really shut them out of that. Speaking of wanting to do things on your own, Rutile, interestingly, chose to stay on Earth, mainly because of their feeling of being responsible for the other gems as the only medical professional, which is, admirable. Another thing that I found fascinating, though, was Rutile's statement about wanting to reclaim Padpa's worth with their own two hands, which suggests that maybe if they see Padpa up and about again due to Lunarian technology, they might not be too happy because it wasn't them that did it. And I think that will be the real test if they're not glad to see Padpa functioning again, it would prove that for all this time, their work of restoring Padpa wasn't really about Padpa. It was more about proving to themselves and to everyone else that they're a good doctor. So yeah, I'm a bit nervous about Padpa and Rutile meeting each other again. As for Padpa, I'm very happy that we do get more of them than we did in the anime. Their character and how they respond to different events is fascinating. The first shot we get of Padpa on the moon is them listening to Aechmea explain how they filled up all their holes with the synthetic corundum. And unlike most gems, Padpa doesn't appear to be phased at all by having to interact with the Lunarian the second they woke up. Or maybe they were, and we just didn't see it. But I suspect they may have just been like, oh, okay, well, this is the new normal now, so let's just go with the flow. It's just probably a benefit of old age. You're just so jaded that you will just go with whatever. I also really like the part where Padpa accidentally calls Aechmea by his name and then just so casually apologizes. It seems like they already have established a really casual relationship, which is amazing. Padpa's also pretty chill over the news that Phos had betrayed Sensei. They do remind Phos that they had told them to tread carefully and all that, but there's no shock or anger or anything really. It's just, in fact, that all they really seem to be is happy that their body is working a lot better. And I think that's why I always related to Padpa, because they're so chill about everything, and even about finding themselves on the moon, chatting to the leader of the species that's been hunting them down for thousands and thousands of years. They're also able to tell the difference between Amethyst 84 and 33, and they're so respected by the younger gens, which is really cute. I guess we should chat about what's happening back on Earth. So, first of all, the scene with Sensei picking up all of his cracked kids was super sad. Rutile apologizing for not having told him earlier was also really sad, but I do appreciate that Sensei never blames his kids. Well, that can cut both ways, like when he never blamed Phos for anything, and that ended up making them feeling even more useless, but he is a flawed dad. It was also insightful seeing which gems seem to have remained unscathed by the revelation that almost half of their number had chosen to depart for the moon. And Raho Chosuso pointed this out too, that there are differences in how much each gem has cracked, and sort of it's interesting thinking about the reasons behind why. And in particular, it's Yuk, Jade, and Bort seem to not have any cracks on them at all. And actually, I did take a screenshot of the panel. Let me just bring it up. Yeah, this one. So Rutile and Amethyst 33 look the worst for obvious reasons, but I do wonder if the reason Yuk, Jade, and Bort have held themselves together so well is both because of experience and also because they happen to be the gems that don't have as much self-doubt and insecurities that plague them. In this panel, it seems like Hemi and Obsidian came off fairly well too, maybe because they're younger and haven't suffered as much trauma. And then, of course, Cinnabar, who, of course, wouldn't be shocked because they knew about the plan all along. Speaking of Cinnabar, one of my favorite moments in the last video were the panels that show Sensei having to coax Cinnabar to come a little closer and then a little more closer, which I thought was really cute. All right, Sensei, where to start? So Sensei, after seeing how distraught his kids are, finally decides to try and tell them everything that he's able to, which is great. And the story of how he found his first gem, Red Dyer, was very touching, but also it seems he was able to communicate the bones of the story this whole time, but chose not to. And it was only after seeing how emotionally and physically broken the remaining gems were at finding out the others had left for the moon, that he chose to come forward with the truth. And so Showdown 1 expressed certain questions that I also had about this. They wrote, centuries, millennia have passed with this war happening and the cycle having no sign of any progress at all. If Phos hadn't done what they did, how much longer would it have continued? Her betrayal did have the effect of causing the first change in the society in essentially forever. Likewise, Congo, in being completely honest, has to have you question him even more. Why did he let this go on for so long? The armour of love thing is extremely sus, especially if he knew he had it and it was affecting the gems. So we'll talk more about the armour of love later. But I agree that Sensei's choice to speak out raises a lot of questions around why now. I think at the very least, the delay shows his grave underestimation of the price of the mental strain that all of the gems have been living under for so long. I think he'd calculated that, maybe losing 1 or 2 gems every 100 or so years would be fine and they wouldn't need, to know why that was happening, but not several in one go. I actually think for many of the gems, knowing the reasons behind the war would have helped a lot with developing the mental capacity to deal with the loss. But maybe this inability to understand the concept of mental resilience through speaking truth and to prepare for unpredictability also proves that Sensei, despite his humanness, is ultimately a machine. I have a theory that seeing his kids like that caused some kind of blip in his code and maybe enabled him to break from his normal program. I don't know, but I'm fairly confident that there was no maliciousness in hiding the truth. It was more, that's just how he was programmed from the start. So the retelling of the birth of the first gem, Red Diamond, was amazing and so cute, and I really love the panel on the shore of nascency when freshly baked Red Dye is reaching out towards Sensei and he's holding his hands up like this, as if being very careful and very non-threatening. Also, I like that the school really is a home, that it was built after they discovered fluorite, who is a lot weaker, and so they needed proper shelter. It's interesting also that Sensei was moved to provide a healthy, civilized lifestyle, as he put it, for the gems. It seems he's seen a lot of shit from the days of the humans, especially later when he tells Yuke that tolerance and equality are lofty ideals that have been attempted but are always fallen short of. And so it makes sense that he would want to create a different world without the normal trappings of human development. But of course, he recognizes that he's failed in that goal. He tells the gems that all he's really done is to prolong a war in which they are the victims and ends up begging them to follow Phos to the moon. And in doing so, he makes the same point that Phos does, which is that he wasn't born like them, and so they should choose to follow the one, or they can choose to follow the one who by nature is the same as them. But it's pretty heartening that the gems choose to stay with Sensei to try and figure out a new way of living together as equals. That moment when Yuke walks forward and reaches out for Sensei and everyone is really shocked, and then Yuke just says, "It's nice to meet you finally, Congo." That was really sweet. Civility is always very appreciated. But more than that, Yuke advocates for staying on Earth because if you always cut and run from your past, you never learn from your mistakes and you might miss out on getting better results. Which makes sense. Like, I lean towards agreeing with Yuke that even though it might be naive and democracy is the worst form of government, it is the worst form except for all the others. So it's worth trying to do it right. It also helps that Bort speaks up and calls Phos a traitor and a coward, which is very Bort-like, and I get their point of view too. Board is probably not thinking about how their future society should work and all the social mechanisms that would be required. That's not their role. But it seems like they're throwing their combat weight behind Uke and their plan, whatever it will turn out to be. However, I think Phos's plan to attack will come in like a wrecking ball, and the collision of those two divergent paths for Gem Society, one that emphasizes conflict and difference, and then another that advocates for cooperation and unity, at least within Gem Society. It's going to be really interesting to see which vision, Phos's or Uke's, comes out on top. So after that whole discussion, I love that Bort asks Cinnabar what they were going to say. Like, they actually remembered that they had interrupted them, and then just drag Cinnabar to join them, even though Cinnabar doesn't want to, but clearly does. And there's that panel that I love with all the gems gathering around. If I can pull it up here. Yeah, so Järvinen commented that there's a very Naoko Yamada style focus on the feet. Yamada, of course, who directed K-On! And uses legs and feet as a kind of a brilliant way to convey character. So they wrote, as Cinnabar calms down, the gem feet goes on the tippy toes where they stay on the next page. I presume this is Cinnabar being coy. To me, it looks like Cinnabar's just being really careful to keep their mercury under control and is just being very cautious. As to what Cinnabar was going to say before they got interrupted, I think they were going to tell Sensei about Phos's plan to shock him into praying for the Lunarians, because even if they had listened to him and all the gems had gone to the moon, it still wouldn't have solved that problem of Sensei being unable or unwilling to pray for the Lunarians, and so that threat would still remain. The next thing I guess I should address is the armour of love, which, again, the only source of information we have on this is Aechmea. I don't know. I think Aechmea isn't lying exactly, but it's possible that he has an incomplete version of the truth, which means that what he says may not be 100% accurate. So the armour of love, according to Aechmea, is an auxiliary function that was included into Sensei's programming in order to make him more lovable, so that humans susceptible to becoming jealous of his superior functionality wouldn't destroy him. Okay, just a very convoluted explanation, but it does make sense. And because both the Lunarians and the gems are descended from humans, they too apparently are influenced by this armour of love. For the gems in particular, who have been exposed to Sensei for so long, the unconditional love that they have for him is merely a consequence of that programming. Aechmea also says something interesting about how the gem's defense system of pairing up is super inefficient, and that it's more suited to protecting the entity at the center, which is Sensei. I guess he means that it serves more as a warning system that alerts Sensei to danger, but at the expense of sacrificing a gem or two every now and then. That there's more efficiency in militarizing and organizing as a whole unit, but that due to this armor of love, that's not what they do. So here's my take on it. I do feel there's a chance Aechmea could be wrong about the purpose of the armor of love. It could have just been added to make Sensei more human-like and lovable, and therefore more able to keep humans company. So remember, Aechmea also said that Sensei was first created for sentimental reasons. So while the origin of Sensei's capacity to love and be loved might be artificial, the resulting mutual love established between Sensei and the gems could be real, and there's nothing that's inherently manipulative about that. I do have to think more about this, and I'm hoping we find out more about the armor in the next few chapters. But it definitely raises some interesting questions that are really relevant to our world today around AI and how close to humans it can get. and the metaphysics of potential relationships between AI and humans. Back to Aechmea, to me, he comes across as having lost touch with the side of him that's capable of thinking with the lens of human empathy. So perhaps the obsession with becoming nothing has so consumed him that even just the idea of genuine attachment to anything or anyone is unfathomable to him. And the other small, tiny topic that Aechmea tells the gems about is freedom. That Sensei gave the gems what was most valuable to humans, and that he either did it as an act of rebellion against the constraints placed on him, or he just wanted the gems to be more like the humans who were free to choose. And interestingly, Aechmea is planting just enough doubt to seed the idea that Sensei is self-serving, that he doesn't have the gem's best interests at heart, which could be true, but freedom is freedom. It's a good thing in and of itself. So I don't really see a problem with Sensei giving the gems freedom if it's genuine freedom. It does feel like Aechmea is advocating for a fight or a revolution or rebellion in response to some dictatorial power who is unwilling to give up that absolute power and abuses it, which I really don't see Sensei as. So either Aechmea is just stirring the shit pot, but also I think he might genuinely believe Sensei in setting the parameters for the gem's freedom is actually a machine turned dictator. But ultimately, all he really wants is for Sensei to start praying again, and so I think he would just say anything to get the gems to go back and try to, just basically turn everyone against each other so that Sensei will break. That's the ultimate goal. So there's all these swirling different motivations lying beneath the surface, which is what makes Houseki no Kuni so fascinating. Which brings us to the next few chapters. So Phos is going to launch a night attack with Yellow and Padpa, who don't look too happy about it, to be honest. And you can probably tell from my face, I'm questioning whether this plan actually makes any sense. I guess the heavy psychological blow that Phos is going for is that, so they're still trying to shock Sensei by showing the other gems how quickly Aechmea got Padpa moving again and getting them all to severely doubt him and potentially leave Sensei. And then Phos will use that time to talk to Sensei, or as they said, to apply force and make him break. I am just praying that Phos actually does talk properly to Sensei, because then they would find out that he actually believes Phos is right, that all of the gems should just leave with them. I feel like because he's already calculated for the probability, that even if all the gems left him, it still wouldn't revert him back to his function as a prayer machine like Phos and Aechmea assumes. I don't know. In conclusion, so much trouble, and this whole shitstorm might be avoided if Phos just asks Sensei more questions and listens. And yeah, I guess we're gonna see if they do that right now. Alright guys, buckle in because we are going to be starting chapter 67 of volume 9 of Houseki no Kuni, Cairngorm. Oh no, I don't have a good feeling at all that this chapter is named after Cairngorm. Okay, so just a couple of pages before... Right, so the concierge person, I think that is, has just handed Aechmea some kind of paper. And he says that there are some things he would like them to understand about restoring the gems who are currently sand. Alright, here we go. The bottom line. is that we can restore any gem of hardness 5 or greater. Damn it. Hardness 10 will be relatively easy. Okay, so all the diamonds, that would be the diamond family. It won't go as smoothly with 9, 8, or 7, but it will be possible. We should be able to barely manage 6 and 5. Wait, Antark, no! No Antark! But any gem 4 or lower, you'll just have to do without them. The pieces of U gems have been strewn across 5 satellites in addition to this moon. Right, because there were 6 moons in total. Any mineral that's 4 or softer would be ground down further from the friction of rubbing against other gem particles. Furthermore, the main components of these satellites' crusts are plagioclase and pyroxene minerals that have a hardness of 5 to 6. Constant contact with these materials would have reduced the soft gems to particles too small to be seen with the naked eye. Does this have something to do with how the Admirabilis have been snacking on these gem parts as well? That's what they seem to be showing. When retrieving the sand, even the most delicate movements will cause those particles to float up into the air. Oh man. They will drift for long periods of time over great distances, and most of them will be carried into space. With our technology traversing the vast reaches of space to retrieve those microscopic particles would be impossible. So he's saying that even like they need to retrieve the sand in order to be able to put them together, obviously, but in transporting it, they would basically scatter all of the particles. That's a hardness of 4 or lower, and so they would basically lose all of them to space. Great. Of course. I mean, even the Lunarians, as tech savvy as they are not, they're still limited by physics. Softer than 4, fluorite, sphalerite, Phos's head, and Antark. I had forgotten that Phos's head would have also been ground down. Actually, was it ground down into powder? Didn't they keep it somewhere? I don't remember. Phos's head and Antark. Phos is not taking this well. At this point in time, I can only promise to restore gems of hardness 5 and above. Should I proceed? You would think some gems are better than none, but maybe Phos is going to demand all of them. Nope. Yes, please do. Very well. Phos, it's our only choice. It's interesting they're focusing on Cairngorm's face, like they know how much Phos misses Antark, and remember, because they were the first gem that Phos called Antark when they went into their little, hallucination. Sorry guys, just had to do a quick venue change because it was getting too noisy outside. Alright, let's keep going. Cairngorm, what is Cairngorm thinking? You can't go in there. Yes, I can. But it's the middle of the night. What is Aechmea pouring? That looks like a huge pail of wine, maybe? He's a bit of an alcoholic, isn't he? It's fair enough. I mean, eternity is pretty hard to deal with. Oh my goodness. This is why I love Cairngorm. They're not afraid to step on a massive Lunarian. Even though that Lunarian is Cicada, is a bit of a softie. I assume this is urgent. Is it really impossible to restore gems softer than 5? I'm sorry. I am ashamed that I cannot undo what I have done. It's interesting that his glasses keep dissolving, you know. I've got to go back and figure out what makes Aechmea choose to have his glasses disappear. Could you at least bring Antark back? You have some attachment to Antarcticite? Personally, no, but I know someone who does. With Antark back, Phos will be more stable. The idiot will make fewer mistakes, be easier to control. I'm pretty sure that would be good for you too. Ooh, dealing with the boss now, Cairngorm. That is useful information, but unfortunately it is not possible. Are you sure? If we had the technology to put everything back the way it should be, we would have solved all our problems. He's probably thinking about their continuous experimentations on the human particle, and obviously they've not been able to produce a human that's been able to pray for them. Then would it be possible to cover me in a synthetic Antark? No! No, Cairngorm. They're still in that mindset of being the gem that's encased inside another gem, and they never really had an identity of their own, and so they're like, well, I guess I'm used to that, so it's not going to be any different, I guess, being encased in a synthetic gem. But no, that wouldn't even be, because you can't have the outside gem have its own personality anyway. I don't have the proper inclusions. Oh man. Cairngorm also, I don't really know if they're doing it for Phos or because Phos has Lapis's head, or I think maybe it's just both now. They're all just the same gem. That way, I could be Antark. I do think we could do that. No. But why would you need to? Why? Why? I have to protect Phos. Why? Because that's what I was told. By whom? By my old self. I see. So they see ghost quartz as their old self, even though really they're two separate gems with distinct personalities and thoughts and feelings. I do not like this. Someone stop them. I see. You were a double-layered quartz, weren't you? Pardon me. Tilt. The inclusions in your hair crystals shouldn't have any effect on you, but... Huh? Just a... Uh-huh. The inclusions in your hair crystals. Oh. There are still some in your eyes. Oh, are they... Is he saying that... Wait, let's just keep going. That a part of quartz is still with them? Ghost? Do you remember having them changed? What? No, but I can't imagine Congo would forget to exchange your eyes. There must have been an interruption. This abnormal devotion you feel is likely caused by your predecessor, whose inclusions are still there in the irises of your eyes. Oh. The outer gem was stripped away, and you were finally released from your prison, but you were still bound by the chains of loyalty that had already been forged. Your winter duty, the role you now occupy. In the end, you're always playing the substitute. Oh God, Aechmea. So he knows all about how Cairngorm pretty much stepped into the role that Antark played. Became Antark for Phos, really. No one realizes that your pitiless predecessor is controlling you from deep inside your eyes. No one even senses that anything might be wrong. Your predecessor is forcing you to be inordinately kind and cooperative towards Phosphorflight. You can think your own thoughts and fight it all you want, but the final decision is never yours. The endless cycle has you exhausted, and now you would rather become Antarcticite. You want to discard yourself. Am I wrong? I feel this touches on Sensei's armour of love as well. It's like, it's different, but it's similar in that the gems didn't really have a choice to love Sensei. It was because of this function that was included in Sensei's programming that made them love him, and so their love wasn't really a choice. And here, the same with Cairngorm, their devotion to Phos that goes beyond all reason, even to the point of, you know, wanting to break their own head off to give to Phos. That stems from Ghost's devotion to Phos before they were taken and stripped away. At least I'm fairly certain Aechmea is talking about Ghost. How did you... I know a thing or two about curses. I decline your request to turn you into Antarcticite. Oh, I'm pleasantly surprised. Maybe Aechmea has a splodge of decency in him. What's he doing? He's dipping his fingers into his wine. The real you is the colour of our world's beautiful sky. It's the colour of space. I would accept a request to remove the quartz from your eyes. If you want to be free, then wait here. I'm going to get my tools. Oh, oh wow. It's offering them a chance to really be free and really be sure that what they're thinking is their own thoughts. It's, I love how it's like, you know, Kuni kind of makes you, well, it's definitely made me sway between different characters on, you know, thinking they're bad, thinking they're good, thinking they're complex. Well, they are complex, all of them. But yeah, swaying my loyalties a bit there. Every bit of story that they reveal. Pick. Uh-oh, what is that? Oh man. Well, what? Wait. That's the outline of Ghost, but no. Wait, why is Cairngorm falling to pieces? Wham! I'm not going back. I want to be free. Oh my god, they're scratching their fingers off. Whoa, is his Ghost the part of Ghost that's still a part of them trying to fight against this plan to scrape what's remaining of Ghost inside Cairngorm off? Obviously, so this is a huge emotional trauma, right? Is it the conflict of not knowing whether they want to be free or not? What is happening? This looks like something is dragging Cairngorm. Clasp. And Aechmea is just watching. Oh, that's Cairngorm's fingers latching onto Aechmea and his promise of freedom. I'll take care of it. What just happened? I honestly don't know. Sorry, I'm gonna have to go back. See, it's like that panel on the top right, that's the outline of Ghost latching onto Cairngorm's shoulder and then ripping pieces off of them. Is that happening in Cairngorm's mind? Because as soon as the possibility that they might be completely free from Ghost has lashed onto them, the parts that are Ghost are like, no, you can't do that. And then is basically ripping Cairngorm from the inside out or dragging them. What? It looks like there's an actual force that's dragging Cairngorm out the door. Clearly, Cairngorm wants to take Aechmea up on his offer to be free to scrape off the remaining bits of Ghost. Because they're latching onto him and they literally say, I want to be free. Man, I don't know, guys. If anyone has any ideas of what is actually happening here, all I can conclude for now is that the promise of freedom caused some massive internal emotional trauma and conflict between Cairngorm, who wants to be free, and the parts of Ghost, which is really just on their eyes, which should be relatively small. Caused some kind of conflict between those two sides, and hence why they ended up being ripped to pieces like that. And I don't know, I have no idea what the dragging, who's doing that. End of chapter 67. Oh man, that's gotta be the most confusing chapter I've read so far. And to Cairngorm too, whom I love. Okay, chapter 68, change. It's waking up. Is that, who is that? Is that Daya or Goshen? Yellow? No, Daya. Yeah. It's morning. It is morning, right? I think so. That's that thing. The thing that lights up in the color of the sky and tells you what time it is. Oh. Okay. This is Daya just getting used to life on the moon. The previous volume did say that they were very adaptable to new situations, so push, squish, ding, and when it says ding, it opens. And I get on, oh, is that the elevator? That's so cute. It's funny, like sometimes I forget that they have never seen really anything electrical or digital or more technological than, you know, the tools that they use in their different crafts. So this is pretty funny. Eek. Good morning. Good morning. This up and down tube sure is convenient. I wonder how it works. I just assumed Cicada was moving it. They're like, everything has to, you know, have some hands being involved. There's no such thing as, you know, automation. But there's one on the other side too. Cicada sure is busy. Maybe there's a lot of cicadas. Ahaha. Okay, so that's actually 84. Okay. Do you think Phos is okay? The poor thing just stopped moving after we talked about restoring the others. Yeah. I want to help Phos feel better about Antark and the hardness thing, but I don't know how. Yeah. What's that ding for? I think it's the "we're here" ding doorbell. They don't even have the vocabulary to talk about all these newfangled tech things. Good morning. Good morning. Whoa, there is more than one cicada. You're a twin crystal too, cicada? The gem is asking you if you are identical twins. No, people do say we look a little alike. A little? But this is the prince's attendant, B. A little. Anyway, Honourable Dyer, Noble Arme. How is a great Phos Hey! Okay, I love that. So they're doing what they did with Phos. They're giving them noble titles, treating them really good. I think from Cicada is definitely, it's genuine for him. Like, he just latches onto the gems, or Phos at least. Oh man. Good morning. Is everybody here? Oh my god. Are they doing the whole "I'm happy Phos, don't worry about me"? I'm not shattered inside because I will never be able to bring Antark back. Looks like we didn't have anything to worry about. What a relief. And now the gems are going to do the thing that they did before as well, which is like, oh, fantastic. We've got old Phos back. No, not everyone. Good morning. Oh. Excellent. Then let's go bust up Sensei. Right now. Do these gems know that that's the plan? Oh, shh. We don't want Sensei getting lonely. It's repeating Antark's line. So we have to hurry and make sure there's nothing left of our old mentor. No, Phos, that's not part of the plan. Oh man, they're all freaked out, as they should be. And they're taking the form of the ice flow as well. Snap. Hey. Oh no, is that Cairngorm Antark? Did Aechmea already fix them up? Oh no, Padpa. Flick. Head flick. Oh, eyeball flick. Oh, did they wreck the pearl eye? A little too hard? Sorry. Oh my god, Padpa. So badass. We're going, okay, so they all know about the plan to shake up Sensei. We're going to get Sensei to stop being broken and start praying, remember? So what will happen if we break Sensei beyond repair? Everyone gets made into sand. That's right. If you mess this up, it's not just Antark we're not getting back, it's everybody. Right, okay, so that's the final deal then. They've got to get Sensei working or everyone gets turned into sand. Great, okay. At least that's clear. No? You want to make everyone suffer like you do? Boss just... Oh, they're so wrecked. No, I don't. So keep a cool head and tread carefully. That's right. Man, Padpa just being a boss, just flicking all of the nonsense out of Phos, keeping them in line, making sure they don't screw it up for everyone else. I love them so much. So your plan, if you Yellow and I go back at night, I'm sure we can take them by surprise. But that's assuming that things haven't changed down there. Who back on Earth knows what you're up to? I told Cinnabar everything, and he glazes onto me. Yuke? Oh, notice there's a little sweat drop on Padpa's face. They know what Yuke is capable of. Looks like. Then Cinnabar's probably already been interrogated, and they all know everything by now. It's too dangerous to fill in the gaps with guesswork. Yep, that's a very reasonable assumption. We should send some Lunarians down first to assess the situation and give us a report. Yeah, good thinking. See, it's like, you know how Lapis, right? They turned Phos into this observant, real deep thinker and noticing all the details and all that, thinking ahead, planning. I feel like that's kind of gone down the drain. I guess it's all of the emotional pressure and stress of having to deceive everyone. Obviously, you know, some of their secrets are out. Well, actually, all of their secrets are out now. Everyone's sort of on the same page with what the plan is. But maybe this latest thing with Antark as well has just made them revert back to being the crazed, hallucinative Phos. Which means talking to Aechmea again. I really wish I didn't have to. The night attack. I actually don't want to go. That creep is super intimidating. It's too scary. Phos, just listen to your elder. If you like, we can take a message to the prince for you. Really? You're awesome. Huh? You're ignoring me? But if we want to avoid pointless battles with our friends, we're going to need your talents. I'm counting on you. Oh, well, since you need me. Such a pushover. So, is Padpa referring to how all the gems really respect them as the elder? And also they all really like, you know, Yellow has been kind to everyone. And also they're part of the Diamond family. So Bort, I guess, holds even some sway over Bort. Oh, another thing. We should bring somebody to keep an eye on you. And stop you from going berserk like you did a minute ago. Me. That's Goshen doing the donkey thing. Me, I want to go too. Of course, that should be the ever-stable Cairngorm. God. I wonder if they're even going to find out what happened to Cairngorm because, well, we don't know what happened to Cairngorm. Like, where did they get dragged off to and what did Aechmea do with the bits that were remaining? Wait, where is Cairngorm? Still asleep? Does Cicada know something? Why is he doing this with the sweat drop? Can you tell if Cairngorm's still in bed? The Honourable Cairngorm has taken up residence elsewhere. Huh? And will be living at Maison Stranica, beginning this afternoon. Huh? Maison Stranica? What does Stranica mean? I don't know. This way, please. Oh, gems! Hey, yeah. Those Lunarians just gawping at the gems. Hi. What happened to them? Whoa, look at those platform shoes. Wow. Oh, is that really Cairngorm? Huh? You took off your powder? Huh? Yeah. I was told I look better this way. Told? By who? By who? Who else? Oh, right, anyway. Oh, this is weird. Is that really like Cairngorm? Lapis's hardness is 5, right? Once we get the body back, I can give you the head. Really? Well, whatever you want to do. I mean, it's not my head. You don't care? Nope. Wait, so Aechmea did go through with scraping off every last bit of ghost that was still stuck in Cairngorm, and now this is the Cairngorm, the real one without any of the previous like ghosts devotions and desires. And the next time we go back to Earth, I want you to come as my assistant. I don't wanna. But could you anyway? Please, 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 please. Ugh, not this again. Immediate going from lording it over Cairngorm to begging, groveling on the ground. I'm not going. Phos is just stumped. The artwork on the wall is interesting. Looks like I don't know, a Yoda shaped Lunarian. We're ready for you, Phos. Oh, what are they doing? Thanks for bringing me to the moon. Oh, so they don't care. They've just turned into this gem that does not care about the other gems or what's happening on Earth. They just want to live a good life on the moon. Damn. Huh? What? Wait, what in the... Oh, what is that? It's like a tailoring corner? Oh, Red Beryl would love that, probably. But they're left shattered on Earth. Erk, the prince has arrived. Have you chosen one? Hmm. I really just don't know anything about clothes. You pick for me. Alright, then we'll take the sweetest, frilliest designs you have. Huh? Let's see them. You got it. I don't like frilly. Oh, this is okay. Remember when Red Beryl just used to force Cairngorm into these awful frilly dresses that they really hated, but they just put on anyway because they didn't really feel a sense of self-worth, I guess, or self-identity? So this is Aechmea teaching them to be completely independent and yeah, then make up your own mind. Making up their own minds. It will be practice for taking back your identity. Identity? This one. I guess. That Lunarian Taylor is super cute. Really? What? What are you saying? You got a problem with my choice? You're mocking me, aren't you? This is why I told you to pick. No, I didn't expect it. It's very you. Oh, he does the head pat thing as well. Did he learn that from his intelligence on Sensei? That's sort of what Gem's like. Whoa, Phos. Bump. Eep. Oh no. Busted. Oh my. Oh man, Cairngorm. Chapter 69, Constancy. Not that I think, Aechmea would mind Phos being there. Oh, it's you. You're still here? Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. You made this? Yes. Not bad. Oh, this is what, the boss tailor? Master, I'm honored. Interesting that they have a apprenticeship system. These are our fashion designers. Master, look at this too. And this one. Just do it yourself. You'll be fine. Very kind, master designer. This one here, despite being my personal designer, only makes me a new outfit once every 100 years. The name's Quieter. Oh, and I'm not neglecting my work. Morning already? What? It's just, when you have infinite time, it's hard to set any production goals for yourself. The prince's closet is full and there's no need for any style upgrades. True, but... Oh, I really like this move. Like, something's awakening in their creative soul and they've finally found a challenge that's worthy of their time. Because it's true, like, when time goes on forever and you have forever to make whatever you want, the urgency goes out of it and you're just like, whatever. Once every 100 years is fine. This is different. Stop blabbing. This is the first time our prince has taken a liking to a gem. Wait, didn't Phos? Well, no, not really. Phos was the first gem to cooperate, but not necessarily the first one that Aechmea liked. And it's a sassy little runt too. It's also new and fresh. Hey, you're runtier than me. It's magnificent. So Cairngorm really getting the star treatment here, and is Phos gonna be jealous? So this is the image you want. Okay. Can I make it totally different? Whatever you want. I guess that's a designer thing. Like, if you're a true master designer, you make the decisions, not the person you're dressing. Well, now that's settled. Keep my dear, make all the assignments, okay? Master. We are currently preparing new clothes for your 7 friends as well. This designer is responsible for that undertaking. Oh, Red Beryl is gonna have a real hard time seeing that. I guess that would increase the psychological damage that Phos wants to do when they go back to Earth, just to show them how much better Lunarian everything is. Lunarian tech, Lunarian fashion. I'm Kima. I'm the main director here at Stranica. Do you remember me, Phos? Huh? Oh, well, you were unconscious. I'm going to give this everything I've got, so look forward to it. Right, thanks. It's time, my prince. I'm going back to my meeting. His meeting? With who? Maybe with all of his advisors and all that, his scientists. You go home and get plenty of sleep. It will help the adhesive. Good night. Squeeze. Ugh, this is so weird. I don't know what to think about this new burgeoning relationship between Cairngorm and Aechmea. That's the last thing I expected. Get that left arm stabilized before bed. Wrap it 5 times with number 11. Number 11. Like some kind of ointment? No. A wrap? The moon has really come to life since you came here. We're developing new technology to recover and restore the sand. Construction, design, fashion. There are signs of change and progress in every field. Like quieter, we had all grown tired of the way things were. You have my thanks. It may be that this will lead to the birth of a new technology beyond anything we've ever imagined. I'll send out some scouts in 7 days. Oh, fascinating. So, the Lunarians are grateful because with the arrival of these new creatures, these gems, it's like been a catalyst for their creative, souls. And it's caused them to have to come up with new solutions to new problems. And they haven't had new problems for thousands of years. So, but I just wonder when all of it is going to ground to a stop as well. There's only so many new things that the gems can bring. Like eventually they too will become old news, but I guess that's way in the future. Interesting. I'm just thinking now, the way that technology has progressed on Earth, like in human history, that's pretty much why as well, like people are faced with different challenges, whether it's disease or climate change or just to stop, like a society is blown up by this massive problem and you need to find new ways of doing things to solve these unprecedented problems. And then that sort of snowballs, and this technological development leads to that one, and then the next one, and everything just kind of builds on top of each other. Very interesting. Oh, here we go. Back on Earth. So these are the scouts, I guess. That's Fiend and Peridot. Sensei's still scraping off little bits of himself. Oh, that's that last panel where you see the Lunarian evaporate and you actually see the eye. That's very different. Oh, and the other Lunarians as well behind them. And just the faint outline of a hand. Yeah, that's so different to when we were first introduced to the Lunarians and we hadn't known them as people. But now you you get the humanity of them in there as well. Yeah. Okay. Wait, has anything changed? Well, they're all together. Like, it's not just those pair anymore. Like, Sensei and a bunch of them are together. I don't know if that's a significant change. Like, they're doing things together now. Maybe they're not doing the pairing up system anymore. I don't know. Okay, back on the moon. And those are the findings of the 5 reconnaissance missions we have conducted in the last 30 days. The reports indicate that no significant change has taken place. Oh, okay, so nothing's changed. That's ridiculous. Except for one. What? The gems have changed into winter uniforms. Oh. Ah, okay. Nobody cares. I bet it's deliberate. I can never guess what Sensei's thinking, but it seems like the kind of thing you could do. Change clothes for the season? No, not that. Yeah, what would be the point of changing to winter when it's not winter? Well, we won't know for sure until we go and see for ourselves. Yeah. Wait a minute. I can't do it. I can't go fight Sensei. Yeah, there we go. You said you wanted to go bust up Sensei, so I guess that love effect or whatever it has worn off for you. But I am nowhere near that. No, I think Phos just... Plus Lapis as well, La Phos. It's just naturally... You know, as soon as they find out something about Sensei that they don't understand or that Sensei had hid from them, I think they just automatically just cut that tie. But Yellow's not like that. Phos is abnormal in every way. You can't compare yourself to that. Padpa, thank you. You do not mince words. Come on, Padparacha, don't you care? We're talking about fighting Sensei. I'm shaking all over. I gave up. I owe Phos too much. I'm going to give everything I have to accomplishing Phos's goals. Padparacha. I gave up. Is that the full story? I mean, I can see it. Like, I can see that they would just be grateful to have gotten the benefits of Lunarian technology and the synthetic corundum that makes up most of their body now, I guess. But maybe also because the synthetic corundum, like, their inclusions can't really take those over because they're not organic. And so their memories maybe are blocked of Sensei, and so it doesn't really impact them as much. Maybe. Also, they're a bit jaded as well, so I guess they'd be game to try anything new. Although Yellow is old as well, just different personalities, I guess. Oh yeah, where's Cairngorm? Wasn't Cairngorm supposed to come with us? Apparently getting touchy-feely with Aechmea was more important. What? So Cairngorm's not coming. It makes absolutely no sense. What could anybody like about Aechmea? The face? Okay, that is a nice face, but on the inside, ugh. Look who's talking. Yellow also spins some truths of their own. It is what it is. It'll be easier to move around in a smaller group. There you go, Padpa again, just taking it in their step, you know. Besides, if we don't leave half of us here, they'll suspect we've turned on them. Just us three then. What a team. Padpa, Yellow, and Phos. Let's get ready to go. Oh, their new uniforms. Also, what is that? That huge foot with a ankle bracelet. Oh no, that was Padpa. They look amazing, I have to say. Oh wow. So Padpa has I guess the revealing I don't know what you call that. I'm really bad with fashion terms. But yeah, the collar the shirt that opens up into the middle to display all of the synthetic corundum, I guess to show off Lunarian technology and how superior it is. The ankle bracelets. And then Yellow is just in a more simpler tunic thing. And they've got Lunarian weapons now too. The broadswords, which is interesting. Not their katanas. I guess, I don't know if that's a deliberate choice, like sort of the east versus west thing. Wow. Oh my goodness, they're already back. And they dropped Phos off at the top. Phos, hurry and get this over with. I don't want to fight. They're on to us. Huh? Yellow is freaking out bad. I don't think it's going to end well. What is that? Back. Someone just shot at them in the dark. Who is that? That's Rutile, isn't it? That looks like Rutile. The crazed eyes? And are they shooting out their doctor's tools? Like their carving tools? Oh my god. If it is Rutile shooting those tools at Padpa, the irony is so thick. All that time that Rutile has spent working on Padpa and carving out exactly shaped gems to fit into Padpa's body, and now those tools that were once used to attempt to heal Padpa are being used to kill them or attack. Oh man. Okay. That's Phos just peeking over the top, trying to get into Sensei's office. No one's here? They're onto them. They know. Phos is a big dummy. Okay, I mean, there have been better opening battle lines, but that works too. Why are you so mean to Konny? Who's Konny? Congo? Are you kidding me? They're so equal now that they've all just resorted to giving Congo Sensei cute nicknames. You're unbelievable, you little ingrate. Frankly, I think something's really wrong with you. So it's heavy and watermelon. But I'm doing this to help. Where is Sensei? And who is it that you're helping? The Lunarians? I mean, well, yes, but helping the Lunarians to help the rest of the gems, supposedly. Man, they're all ganging up on Phos. They're all there, that means. Bye-bye! Whoa, I feel like they've set up some massive trap. What is that? That trapdoor, where did that even come from? Oh no, it's the stairs. It's the stairs, right, that go down? Oh no, last chapter of the volume. Chapter 70, Before Dawn. Phos. I'm worried, I'm really worried. I'm 1000% sure this is a trap. Well done, Phos. Well done. If I look through that door, I bet Bort will pop out of it. Okay, calm down. Cool head. Tread carefully. Billow willow, pulley bully, pillow willow. What? Okay, just a bunch of random taunting sounds. Stupid Phos. Idiot. Loser. Oh my goodness, and you fell right for it, Phos. You little... And there's Bort. Bort really did pop out of that door. They're playing on Phos's ego, really. That is insane. Fuck! Rutile! Oh, it was Rutile. Gah. Oh no, don't fight. Come on, stop. Padpa got him. Maybe did they hold back? Because I did have like a. Wait, who is holding who that sharp thing against the neck? Oh, it's a stalemate. Okay, I get it. So Padpa has Rutile by the sword, and then Rutile has them by the tool. No, I hate this so bad. Like, I knew it was coming, but oh man. Actually, I'm surprised that Rutile would attack Padpa, because it's the first time that they've seen Padpa like this, you know, moving for so long and not so weak. Come on, stop. That yellow's hating this too. Padpa is awake. Isn't that a good thing? Come on. Yeah, it's... Oh, shit. So this just confirms that Rutile is not happy, because it wasn't them that restored Padpa to their former glory, and they hate it. And it's the ultimate betrayal, really. Like, how could you let yourself be healed by our enemies? And the doctor is down. Who's gonna put Rutile back together? That was always the question, wasn't it? I guess, well, they have the Lunarians now, but yeah, for the gems, that's the only medical professional that they have. What was Rutile gonna say? My what? Oh no, poor Yellow. It's Rutile just being smashed right in front of their eyes. Yellow. Oh no. That's Zircon. Whoa, it's not what it looks like. I just wanted to know what happened to all the gems who got taken. It looks bad, man. Like, there's no going back now. Did Papa just do that? How are they? What is that weapon? It like... Is that a whip? No, it's a sword, but it's a sword that when they swing it, emits some kind of force that immediately cuts any gem in half. Okay, so that's Zircon gone, Sphene gone, and whoever that is, Hemi. Oh my, is Padpa gone a bit nuts, or are they just, do they just want to make this fight as quick and clean as possible? Also, I know, like, you know, they can be put back together, but this makes them rely on the Lunarians, right? Because they've lost Rutile and they need someone to put all these crumbled gems back together. Padpa, you're going too far. This is... Where is Sensei? Oh god, Bort. Phos. You don't need to protect that machine. It isn't even alive. Sensei is just a tool. So what? Ugh. It's so stressed. You know what? I do not like that Phos just discounts Sensei's sentence. You know, that he's not alive, he's just a machine, he was just created by the humans, but it's undeniable that he does possess a certain amount of self-identity. You know, it's been so long and he's had so long to develop this identity of his as the father to all gems. And it's like AI, like when it, not that we have any right now that are fully on par with humans, maybe close, But Sensei is pretty much human in the ways that matter. As I said, he's definitely passed the Turing test, so... So what? Sensei is the reason we've had to fight for so long. The Lunarians aren't getting what they want because Sensei is broken. You can't trust anything the Lunarians say. I can't believe Phos is fighting Bort. I don't like it. But it makes sense. You just want to believe it. Oh, that is such an epic. Bort just fending off Phos's bendy arms. Something has to change, which is a good point. You only think that because you were weak. I'm doing this for all of you. Coward, don't make this our fault. I mean, they're both right in different ways, and they're just not talking to each other. Wham! They got bought. Oh, they snapped the leg off. See, look how badly you're hurt, and Sensei still hasn't come to help you. That's all you amount to. That isn't living. We've never seen Bort break. Seeing Bort break is a real milestone that I hate having reached. Oh my goodness, Phos just slamming Bort to the ground. Stop fighting. Why did they have to start by fighting? Who actually... Sorry, I just want to go back to when they first landed. Well, they landed... Okay, so it was Rutile who attacked first. But I mean, I guess they were gonna... That was the point. The plan was to attack and distract all the other gems while Phos talks to Sensei, but clearly that plan isn't really working out so well. Okay, there's another gem running towards Phos. I can't tell who that is. What? Padpa are gonna do that thing again with their sonic boom sword. It's Cinnabar. I just... No. That's Cinnabar, right? You run it in with the mercury? And then just, yeah. Okay, fending off Padpa's attack. Wait a second. Something just got stuck through Phos. That looks like Padpa's sword. Are they pulling Phos back? Oh, what is happening? Padpa Raja! Did I... Okay, what I'm seeing is Padpa Raja just stuck a sword through Phos to get at Bort and then like pulled it back. Phos obviously sliced in two again along with Bort. So Bort is in pieces, Phos's in pieces, and Padpa did that. What? I don't understand what Padpa's trying to do here. Are they just trying to destroy all the gems and just make it quick? It doesn't matter if like they accidentally, a bit of friendly fire, it doesn't matter. Everyone can get put back together again. They just have to stop fighting. Oh man, oh man. And I thought I could have sworn that was Cinnabar. So did Cinnabar get destroyed as well? That's Cinnabar, right? And that's Bort's hair, and that's Phos's body. Oh, Yuke. This isn't what you really wanted to do. We'll find a way to move forward where no one gets left behind. We'll think of one together. But there's no going back. Anyone softer than 5, me included. We need you for our future. They were having a reconciliatory moment. And of course, the Lunarians show up. Well, maybe that was part of the plan, like, let's back up. No, it wasn't part of the plan. Aechmea has said stuff about how they don't really work at night anymore because of labor unions. But what is this? This was not part of the plan. Phos is shocked as well. That's a lot of them. The 2 cicadas. Cicada and bee. Oh, it's Cairngorm. What is that outfit? Look at that massive spike of theirs. For want of a better word, I don't know what you call that weapon. It just looks like like they took the pillar of a building and sharpened both ends. Look at the confetti, yeah, this is the full-on celebrity treatment, celebrity entrance. What is Cairngorm gonna do? I thought they didn't care. Snap. Oh my god. They just smashed Phos's head in. They smashed Laphas's head. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. Okay, they're raining down arrows. You've recovered the 3 of them? Then let's go back. Holy shit, okay, oh my god. So, the 3 of them referring to Bort, Rutile, and maybe Cinnabar? Yeah, I'm positive that that's Cinnabar there. Yep. Cinnabar bought and Phos. Sorry, I'm just gonna. I'm in shock. They got played. The gems. I mean, Phos, Padpa, and Jaya. Wait, what happened to Padpa? I think Padpa's there, so obviously Padpa will go back with them. Padpa was in on it from the beginning. Like, this wasn't a plan to help Phos get a chance to talk to Sensei. It was more, let's grab some more gems. And Phos had no idea. They got played bad. I feel so bad for Phos. Okay. Land of the new labels. So, what are you like on the inside, Konny? Oh my god. Wait, sorry. Sorry, I just needed to go back one last time. Yep, so Yuka's still there. They're just all trying to get out of the way of the hail of arrows. Yeah. They got bought. Alright, okay. Land of the new labels. So, what are you like on the inside, Konny? What colour are you? Clear? I can't give you specifics, but I do have some transparency. Those young'uns adapt fast. It'll be a while before I can call Sensei Konny. You're so mysterious. Squeeze, squeeze. What's Zircon thinking? Hey, there's one. A young gem who still can't do it. Konny is a pretty high bar to clear. Why don't you start with Congo? Congo. Don't say it to me. Coily. This is going to take a while. Oh man, Zircon. Oh no, I'm laughing, but then Zircon makes me think of Bort, which reminds me that they've been taken as well. Which means they're going to be reunited with Daya, which Daya is going to hate. Oh man, all these. This is going to create so many new problems, I feel. Okay, let's think about this while we read translation notes. Senior Lex. In the original Japanese, Goshenite addresses Alexandrite using the honorific Paisen, which is a slangy way to say senpai. Senpai is the title given to anyone who became a part of a group before the speaker. Yep, so it was Senpai Lex. Kongo Daijihisho Jizo Bosatsu. Right. Kongo's real name is patterned after the names of Buddhist figures known as bodhisattvas. Anyone who has attained enlightenment but chooses to stay on earth in order to help others to nirvana or heaven. Interesting. As previously noted, Kongo is related to the Sanskrit word Vajra and represents indestructibility. It is also the Japanese name of the diamond realm, which represents the unchanging cosmic principle of the Buddha and is depicted in a set of two mandalas known as the Mandala of the Two Realms. The other realm, the womb realm, represents the active physical manifestation of Buddha in the natural world or earth. This brings us to the Jizo Bosatsu part of the name, which is the name of an extant bodhisattva who is popular throughout Japan and whose name means earth treasury or earth womb, among other things. It's an interesting connection to the treasure tower as well, which I think has meanings of like the manifestation of enlightenment on earth in human life. This particular bodhisattva has opted to wait to go to nirvana until every occupant of every hell has managed to move on. The Dai Jihisho part of his name appears to be original and means Great Mercy Crystal. Yeah, hey, that's that shot of Sensei approaching Red Dyer. Probably he was scared to break them. Okay, interesting. So the whole staying on Earth in order to help others achieve enlightenment, that's a lovely concept. I can't help but feel though that the humans ended up twisting that concept into, well, we don't have to do any hard work in order to get to enlightenment. We just need this machine to pray for us. And that technically ticks all the boxes of enlightenment, but it doesn't fulfill it in spirit, where the point is for yourself to go and seek enlightenment and to grow yourself. It's not just like a checkbox to tick off. B. In keeping with the insect theme, the translators have opted to translate the name of cicada's lookalike to bee. The original name is Ape, which is Italian for bee, but is also Ainu, an indigenous language of Japan for fire. Maison Stranica. Okay, this is what I wanted to know. Maison is French for house and is a word used fairly commonly in Japan for apartment complexes and the like. Stranica is the possessive form of the Russian word for wanderer, i.e. wanderer's house. But the Japanese could also be rendered as sutra nika, where sutra is Indonesian for silk and is related to the word for Buddhist scriptures, and nika is from the Arabic for marriage. Silk marriage. There are so many different sources of languages. That's so cool. You got French, Japanese, Russian, Indonesian, Arabic. So, Wanderer's House. So, because to me, Maison, it kind of made it sound like this was some big designer house, which it kind of is. And so the earthly meaning is very much like fashion, silk, which also points back to the fact that they design clothes there. But then I love that the words also are connected to Buddhism, and wanderer, I guess, is like the Lidarians, right? They're wandering around without having found a permanent home in the nothingness that they seek. Ooh, interesting. Senscoily. Unable to call Congo by anything less formal than Sensei, Zircon ends up combining Sensei, Congo, and Konny into Senko-chan, which may put the Japanese reader in mind of a cute little stick or coil of incense. Senko, possibly of the insect-repelling variety. The translators attempted to replicate this effect by using the name Senscoily, which hopefully sounds like incense coil. So smart. I mean, that's hard. Translation is a real tough job, and the fact that they were able to include the play on words in there was really great. That it? Yeah. Padpa and Yellow and Yukon Jade just sitting down in peace, no fighting, as it should be, and yet we got that. Yeah, we got civil war, basically. I had thought there was some chance that they could all just be like very cautious and at least try to speak first, but it seems like the gems on Earth have just assumed that the ones who left because they wanted to betray Sensei and betray all the other gems and are on the Lunarian side, and so they don't understand that they all left for various reasons, and they all thought that it was temporary, that, you know, they could just zip up, zip back down again, but little did they know that Phos had kept so much from them. And Phos is, I don't know, man. I feel like in the previous videos, I always had that feeling that Phos's lying to them would result in, you know, a big butt biting later on, and this is later on. Like, it's caused so much animosity between the gems that have been separated, and it's sort of destroyed the space to communicate and to actually really tell each other why they did what they did, and that they're not actually against each other. It's just, it looks bad. The optics look really bad. So okay guys, that concludes volume 9. I did suspect civil war, but I had a pretty confident hope that the gems from the moon and those on Earth could hash it out like adults. But and you know, you did see a glimpse of that opportunity when Yuke comes up to speak to Phos after the chaos of that fight scene involving Padpa, Phos, Bort, and Cinnabar, which I will break down again just to make sure that I got what actually happened, because when I was reading that for the first time, it was confusing and it was chaos and I hated it. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. So yeah, Yuke extending to Phos an olive branch, really, of saying that they can all work together to come up with a better way to live, and that there is a place for Phos in that society. And then Phos at first tells them that there's no way, you know, to go back, but you can kind of see that they do want to listen more to what Yuke has to say. And there's like a little opening up of potential communication. But then, of course, Diva Cairngorm interrupts everything and brings in all those labor union workers, you know, and gets to work attacking and gathering up the remains of Cinnabar, it was Cinnabar, Phos, and Padpa, which was a real shame. Okay, so that insane fight scene. I think I've dispensed most of the confusion upon first reading that scene. So after Padpa defeats Rutile using that amazing sonic boom sword, I wonder what that sword is emitting. But anyway, they then proceed to rip apart Hemi, Zircon, and Sphene, I think. And so it's clear at that point that Padpa isn't so interested in talking. Their goal is to end the fight as quickly as possible so that Phos can talk to Sensei without the other gems interfering, which is fair enough. Like, I think that's a solid plan. I do wonder, though, whether Padpa was in on the plan to have Cairngorm and a whole Lunarian army just scoop up some more free gems. I really wonder. Like, maybe Padpa wasn't. Like, maybe they really were just focused on clearing a path for Phos. But yeah, I don't really know. Then Bort is still fighting Phos, at which point Cinnabar comes rushing at Phos with their Mercury in hand. And there's a wonderful set of panels where you see Phos's eyes meet Cinnabar's for a split second. Padpa saves Phos from getting encased in Cinnabar's Mercury, but then somehow I think they yeet Phos out of the way using their sword, and then Padpa starts fighting Cinnabar. Okay, so far so good. And then I think Cinnabar and Padpa end up destroying each other because you have Phos yelling out Padpa, and then there's this panel where the Mercury is splashing all over Padpa. So those two are out. And then Phos gets sliced in half by Bort's hair, which also has been a bit damaged by the Mercury. And then the very last panel before Yuke walks in, it's basically the scene of a bloodbath of all of the parts of Cinnabar, Bort, Phos, and Padpa as well. But Bort, I think, manages to escape because you see them still moving before Cairngorm arrives, and you also see the other gems helping them up, and also bagging up the parts of what I think would be Rutile and the other gems that Padpa had sliced. Okay, everything I just said just sounds so insane to me. So as to which 3 gems the Lunarians actually retrieved, they definitely scooped up all of Cinnabar's Mercury, which is going to be fascinating. I wonder how Cinnabar's going to respond to the moon. There's Phos, obviously. Phos and their smashed up head, which Cairngorm, I bet, had pleasure in doing. You know, just all of that pent up bossing around that Phos did to them and making them do things against their own will. Yeah, I think they really enjoyed doing that head smash. So there's Cinnabar, Phos, and then Padpa as well. So yeah, really the Lunarians only got one additional gem, but I think that's going to be a pretty huge blow to the gems on Earth, regardless. Yeah, as I keep saying, that was just all nuts. And I had to go back panel by panel to believe what I was seeing. The question I need answered now is, was Cairngorm leading a rescue mission knowing that Phos and Co would likely be stepping into a trap? Or was it an opportunistic mission that however many gems Phos and Co, or really Padpa, smashed, they would be like scavengers and just pick up all of those pieces and just take them back to the moon? Yeah, I don't know which of those options is what Cairngorm was thinking, but yeah, okay, let's talk about Cairngorm. We lost Cairngorm, and I mean lost in the sense that the Cairngorm I really like, the one who is loyal, if a bit stuffy and blunt and rough around the edges, they're gone. And in their place, after having all of the ghost quartz scraped off of them, is a gem that's fully in Aechmea's pocket. I really wonder whether Aechmea did more than just scrape the remainder of ghost quartz off them. It also makes me question, did Sensei leave parts of ghost quartz in there on purpose in the eyes? I wonder. But in any case, we have the real Cairngorm now, the one who doesn't give a shit about any of the other gems and has no feelings towards Phos anymore and is no longer able to be manipulated by them. We didn't really find out any more about the armour of love, although the words that Bort and Phos exchanged while they were fighting each other were really insightful. In that I don't think someone like Bort cares much that Sensei is just a machine that potentially has an auxiliary function that makes them love him. That's not pertinent to them. The thing that really drives Bort is the fact that Phos betrayed them. And I found that whole conversation so frustrating because Phos makes some good points, you know, that it's not really living this endless cycle of war and of having to defend Sensei, but also Phos is wrong in dismissing Sensei as just a machine that's not even alive. I think that goes too far. Meanwhile, Bort is right that Sensei being a tool doesn't really matter, but they're wrong in being completely dismissive of the motivations of why Phos is doing what they're doing. You know, Phos is trying to help the gems, if doing it in a way that's likewise dismissive of Sensei's sentience and ability to negotiate and to change, as Yuk proved in the last volume. So it really felt like they were just talking past each other, which was driving me nuts. Next time, we're going to be starting volume 10. There's a lot to process, and I have no doubt that there's going to be some really interesting conversations in the comments down below. So until then, guys, thank you for joining me on this continuing crazy trip, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So take care and have a good rest of the week.